Hey everyone, Luke from Safety Wise. I just want to do a really quick video. There's a hell of a lot of AI slop that's going around at the moment that's promoting and talking about ICAM and ICAM investigations. But as is pretty typical when people are using AI and they don't understand what it is they're actually researching and talking about and the prompts they're putting in, they're creating this AI slop that's just factually incorrect. And I'll give you some examples of some of the stuff I've seen. I saw one over the weekend that was promoting ICAM. It was an infographic type poster. And according to this poster, it stands for initial response, collect information, and goes on from there. ICAM doesn't stand for that at all. It's incident cause analysis method. There was another one I saw on the weekend from an ICAM provider. Same thing, another ICAM poster, infographic type thing that was AI generated. And it talks about 4 layers or 4 levels, I should say, of ICAM. There's not 4 levels of ICAM. There's an ICAM Lite, which is for low level incidents, an alternative to 5 Whys. And there's ICAM. So you either do an ICAM or you don't, one way or the other. But there's not levels or layers to ICAM. And when you look at the infographic, it was actually talking about contributing factors, and it was calling the different types of contributing factors levels. It's incorrect. Then you go and actually look at the information and the titles that were used. For example, we have absent/failed defenses. According to this infographic, there's absent defenses. Now, there's a differentiator there. That's a big word, big one for a Monday. There's a differentiator sitting there. An absent defense versus a failed defense are 2 very different things. One, it wasn't there, so it couldn't work in the first place. The second one is it was there, but it failed. It was inadequate. Something went wrong. There's a big difference between the two. So when you have 2 different definitions and that one's incorrect, it's going to impact your investigation. In the same infographic, it talked about task conditions, didn't mention environmental conditions. So again, the correct one is task/environmental conditions. Again, makes a big difference. If we're only looking at the task and not the environmental, how do we know what contributed to the incident? This probably flows into the post I did this morning, in which I have promoted an ICAM training buyer's guide. And this is not about saying, hey, buy from Safety Wise, buy from Safety Wise. Not at all. That's the nature of business. You know, there's competition out there. There's a lot of competition in the ICAM market. But if you're going to shop around for ICAM providers, how about have a look at this guide and ask your provider some pretty pointed questions. You know, questions around the experience, the investigation experience, for example, of the people facilitating. Literally anyone can pick up a PowerPoint presentation and deliver training. Are they going to facilitate a really good training session and have a full understanding of ICAM and how it applies to a real world investigation? Not likely, highly doubtful. There's a big difference there. And that's just one of the 12 points that we talk about in this guide. Again, have a look around what's going on social media with AI slop and that sort of stuff and the crap that people are putting out. If you want to compare apples to apples, then let's do it. Let's have those conversations. There's some great providers out there that do good training. They're providers that have been trained by us. You know, their staff members have been trained by us and so forth. I've got no issue with that. Again, that's the nature of business. That's the nature of competition. But let's compare apples with apples and make sure that we're getting exactly what we pay for. And we're not just churning people like a sausage factory through ICAM training for the sake of doing it and ticking a box. Let me know your thoughts below.